Well, it's a Wednesday. It feels very Wednesday-y. If you're new here, hello. You've just tuned in to Commute with Collins. I'm leaving work right now. It's starting to sprinkle. I had candy today, which is not part of my diet, and I'm fucking tired. But we have a thing we gotta discuss. Today, Alabama decided to completely ban legal abortion. And when I say that, I mean that abortion is going nowhere. I'm just letting you know. We're not gonna, we're just gonna pretend it doesn't exist in Alabama. And, following in Georgia, probably. But, they're trying to completely abolish it from laws, but that's not happening anytime soon. Just letting you guys know, being 110% transparent, I have had an abortion, if you didn't know. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome to the shit show that is Commute with Collins, where I kind of just talk about a topic while I drive to and from work. I have a podcast that is 1 year old. Happy birthday to the Collins on the Rocks podcast, where I, Collins, am your host. So, Commute with Collins is just a little break in between seasons for the Collins on the Rocks podcast. So thank you so much for joining me. So yeah, the discussion today is going to be abortion. So I'm fucking pissed that Alabama thinks that they can let cis white men make choices for women who have uteruses or men who have uteruses. But I have a problem with this because if it's not your body, why do you care? And the propaganda that the Republicans try to use is that tax dollars are being used towards abortions, or that it's a life and all of this bullshit. And I was looking online at the statistics of the foster care system in Alabama, and Alabama is ranked 7th at the worst in the nation. Imagine, we're not the worst, we're not in the top 5, but you're definitely in the top 10. So you just have a bunch of kids sitting in foster care. You have a bunch of kids not getting adopted. I think in Alabama this year, there will be over 300,000 children in foster care that go unadopted. Of those, the statistic for teenage pregnancy is high. The GED and high school diploma rate is well under 50% for those who are in foster care. So half of them will end up in the legal system or in prison. And I truly do believe this. I believe that every person should have influences in their life, at least 2, that are parental figures that need to shape them for who they are as a human, to develop their morality. And when you really don't have a parental figure, or you aren't really being fostered into a good living situation, it can heavily dampen who you are developing as a person. And I just don't understand the mentality of save all the babies, but once they're born, fuck them. I mean, If I was pregnant right now, I'm not sure what I would do, because I'm definitely not in the position to have a child. I'm just starting out employment, so it would be really irresponsible for me to spend the next 9 months while I'm still on probation to take time off and then be like, by the way, I'm going to have a baby. No, that's not responsible on my part if I want to have a career. It's not responsible for the fact that I don't live with my boyfriend. It's not responsible for the fact that, like, I can't fucking afford a kid. And I know that people say, like, oh, you work it out, but you can't force someone in to being a parent. Because I really wouldn't want to be that kid. If, you know, I can't say if, you know, if I was the productivity or, you know, of forced parental situation, but my parents weren't married when I was conceived. I found that out when I was in 2nd grade, because I remember like a plaque or like some sort of like picture frame or some sort of thing in our kitchen when I was in 2nd grade. And it said August of 88. It was my parents' wedding. It was in their house. And it was very informal. My siblings were there. But I was born in August of 88, so that doesn't equal 9 months. And so I remember asking my mom, how long does it take to create a baby? Oh, 9 months. Okay, well, May, June, July, August, that's 4 months. Where's the other 5 months? Well, guess what? We weren't married when we created you. And it would be without tact if I was like, well, I'm probably should have had an abortion. But I don't know if my parents were even ready to be parents. Did they get married because my mom was pregnant with me? Like, did my parents even love each other? These are all things that they've told me, and you know, hindsight of them splitting up, and you know, I know that my dad is very happy with his new wife, and you know, I'm not really sure the happiness of my mom. Split up from my dad. She has boyfriend, so it negates whatever, but I don't know, it's just one of those things that it's like, my parents are my parents, and they will always be my parents, and I treasure that they decided to have me, because I think I'm a pretty fucking cool person when it comes down to it. But I think it was a really painful time for them. My dad was out to sea all the time, so my mom was alone with 3 kids, and then ended up being 4 kids, you know, and my brother is special needs, so there was a slew of shit that came with that. So, you know, it was just a painful time for my mom. So, what am I getting at? I just think that forced parental situations shouldn't happen. Like, if at any point, you know, a person is in that situation now where they're into this Navy guy, but they're not ready to be parents, like, I would want to vote so that if at any time she decided, you know, I don't want to be a forced parent, I don't want to have this bestowed upon me just because they did something completely and 110% natural. And if you're listening to this and you're like, but sex is pregnancy is 110% preventable by just not having sex. Yes, but also, like, it's when you're naturally, I don't know, when you naturally want to have sex, or when you naturally want to explore that part of you, you can't just omit something that's completely natural, you know? You can't live without sex. Really, you can't. You cannot. And don't even fucking let a Republican tell you that you can live without sex. Please don't live without sex. Because it makes people way better as people. Sex has a lot of beneficial properties to it, to your health, both mental and physical. But it does something to your heart, and I get it. If you have sex with the wrong person and you get pregnant, you're tied to that person forever if you have that baby. But that's why I had an abortion. You know, I didn't want to be legally tied to my rapist, even if I had given my baby up for an adoption. And the amount of kids waiting to be adopted is insane. It's insane. Especially considering how many kids are in fucking foster care. Like, they want to be adopted too. But I don't know, it's such bullshit, because it's like, oh yeah, just adopt, there's all these other options. But I would never ever wish that upon a child. I wouldn't wish that they would search their whole life to find their biological parent, for them to be like, I wasn't fucking ready and I didn't really want you. Damn, rejection. I don't know, when humans are shitty and they're fucking pollutants, I don't really